Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. This will be a very quick message because I only have one thing to say. Um, I keep trying to ignore it, and it keeps pounding at my spirit. So normally when that happens, somebody needs it. One of you, at least one of you need it. So I'm obedient to share. So tap in. So guys, if you feel like you're being tempted to go backwards, and this can be in a number of ways. Again, like I said last week, either God has required you to relocate or leave a situation or leave a place, but because you can't get your footing there right now, because it doesn't feel stable right now, you're tempted to go back to that place only because it's comfortable. You know, without a doubt, that that place no longer serves you, right? You know that. When you left, you knew it no longer served you, and you was grateful that God gave you a grace to be able to leave it. But now where you currently are, and because things are so uncertain in the world, not just your situation, but within the world, you're feeling a little uneasy. So it's almost like you're tempted to go back because that is your safety net. And that can be a place or a relationship. And as I always say, my infamous, if God wanted us to go backwards, he would have placed our feet in the opposite direction. Now, will there be certain situations where God requires you to go backwards? I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure, but make sure you're hearing from God and you're not just weary in the flesh. Because sometimes when we get in the midst of the process and things are either stagnant or we're not seeing the promise as quick as we think, then we start to grow weary, and then it becomes more about flesh wanting to go back to that comfortable place versus us still trotting along and climbing these mountains throughout this process and this journey. Also, because the enemy knows that you're having these thoughts and these doubts if you made the right decision, he's now sending a lot of old people to come back. These will be the same very people that God required you to leave for whatever reason. It may not have even been strife or anything bad, but God gave you the grace to finally be able to leave a situation that you yourself, you could not have walked away from. Let it be from a soul tie, let it be from just being comfortable, let it be just from conditioning of thinking that blood is quote unquote thicker than water, whatever that scenario may be. At some point, God eventually gave you the grace, or he may have separated it and it may have been very traumatic. So you think very traumatic, but the point of the matter is he separated it. And even if it was traumatic, you got over it. Even if it took you months, years, whatever, you got over it. But now Satan is attempting to send people back. That old text message going to pop up from that person you haven't heard from. You may even have started responding, and now that conversation is kind of starting to feel all normal again. And now you're starting to think like, well, should I go back? I challenge you to tap into that very time when you got the download to leave, when you had the strength to push through the times you had to grieve that thing, that person, or that place. Tap back into that time. Because we have a tendency of people that it's almost natural to kind of want to go back to the comfort zone setting when we feel uncomfortable. Because when you feel uncomfortable, you don't feel safe. If you don't feel safe, those are trauma triggers if you never felt safe. So all these different emotions and feelings are currently going on. Satan knows that. So again, he's sending back familiar things that God has required you, told you, and gave you the grace to leave. Now, all of a sudden, temptations is finding their way back. I want to encourage you, if you know that's not from God, don't respond to that message. In fact, block it. get in your word or whatever works for you to fill your spirit up. But this is an upward climb. And it's steep. And it's not easy. But you got to keep climbing if you want to make it. Once you decide to go back, I'll let you answer that. So again, I ask you, how bad do you want it? It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.